Hey guys, what is up? It is SSD Middleman here with GuidesForUsAll, and today we're going to be checking out all of the bows in Dark Souls 2 and how to get them. So starting off with the short bow, this is the easiest to get bow in the game. You can get it right off the bat, either in Leningrath's shop in a chest, or as the bandit class initial equipment. Now the short bow is not the most amazing of bows. It has pretty low damage, but that also means it will have low stamina consumption and a pretty fast drawback time. Now, if you infuse it with fire, it can also detonate explosive barrels and ignite objects no matter what kind of ammunition you're using. You do not need to use fire arrows to make it work like that. So, at upgrade level 10, it's going to have 130 base damage, plus an A scaling in dexterity, allowing you to get pretty nice damage with this bow. This is one of my favorite bows in the game, despite it being the easiest and kind of lowest tier bow. I just like it because of the fast drawback time, the low stamina consumption. You can just keep firing those arrows at your enemies non-stop. Now, you can also get a lightning infused version by the last bonfire of the Iron Keep. That's usually the one I use. I just like having that lightning infusion just for a little bit of extra damage. Now, moving on to the Longbow. The Longbow can be bought from Steady Hand McDuff in the Lost Bastille for 2,000 souls after giving him the Dark Ember that you find in Iron Keep. Now the Longbow will do more damage than the short bow, but it does take a little bit longer to draw it back. Now at regular rank 10, it will have a base damage of 150, and it also does have an A scaling dexterity, so the higher your dexterity, the more damage you're going to be doing with this bad boy. It's not all too much different than the short bow, but it is a nice little change of pace with a little extra damage, and the little slower drawback time is going to get you used to some of the more advanced bows that we'll be checking out in a few moments. Now moving on to the Composite Bow. The Composite Bow can only be gotten from Weaponsmith Ornifex for 5,500 souls after freeing her from the Shaded Woods by the last bonfire. Now this bow has a slow drawback time as well, but it does pretty nice damage. At regular rank 10, it'll have 165 base damage, but it only has a C scaling in dexterity, but it also has a C scaling in strength as well. So if you have about 40 strength and 40 dexterity, the bow will have about a 270 attack rating, which is pretty nice. You're going to be doing some nice damage against other enemies and pretty much shrekking them. That's the only way I can think to put it. Now moving on to the C bow. This bow is probably the biggest pain in the ass to get. You can only get it from Varangian archers in the No Man's Wharf area, and those are the Varangians that have gone hollow that are wielding the bow. Meaning you will have to kill there's the first archer at the beginning, and then the other archers on the ship all the way at the end of the level. You get 3 chances for this. I had to use 3 bonfire ascetics and farm this area over 40 times just to get this stupid bow. And I don't think it's worth the trouble, in all honesty. At 10 rating, it's going to have a 145 base damage, and it's going to have C scaling in strength and dexterity. And at about 40, it'll only have an attack rating of 250. Now the thing that sets this bow apart from all the other ones is it has the longest range of all the bows, meaning you'll be able to shoot enemies that are even farther away. You'll be able to snipe them from a very long distance, especially if you have the Hawk Ring equipped. And that's really the only great thing about this bow. It is such a pain to get, though, unless you were really lucky. Do note that I also had Covetous Gold Serpent Ring +2 and the Jester's Hat, so I have the max discovery rate in the game, and it still took me forever to get this bow. Alright, so let's move on to the Bellkeeper's Bow. You get these from the Enhanced Undead and the Sinner's Rise, and those enemies are the ones you will find after going down the elevator. They will be the big, husky-looking enemies that jump at you and try to fight you in the water. Now the Bellkeeper bow also has a pretty slow fire rate compared to the other bows. However, at rank 10, it will have a C scaling in strength and an A scaling in dexterity, meaning that around 40 strength, 40 dex, it will have an attack rating of 283, which is really nice damage, and this is a cool little bow. It's odd that the Enhanced Undead dropped this in the Sinner's Rise, even though it's called the Bellkeeper bow. You would think it would be dropped by somebody near the Bellkeeper's Covenant, but it's just not. It's a fun little bow to use. I don't think it's the best, and it has decent range, slow fire rate, but it is a fun change of pace to use if you've been using the faster firing, boring bows, I would say. Now moving on to the Hunter's Black Bow. Most people may not know about this bow, as I didn't even know about this bow until I started making this video. You will find it at a chest down a ladder after the second bonfire before the dual Dragon Rider boss in Dranglake Castle. I didn't know that this second bonfire existed, and I didn't even know that this bow existed. So This bow only requires 9 strength but 25 dexterity to use, and at rank 10 it will have a base damage of 155 with an S scaling in dexterity. If you have 40 dexterity and only 9 strength, the minimum requirement for that, the fully upgraded bow will have an attack rating of 250. It also has the fastest rate of fire of all the bows, and you can fire them in 4 times in quick succession at 120 stamina, which you should have at rank 20. I forget what it is. The stat is that gives you stamina, but that stat. So this bow is really awesome. This is one of my favorites here. It is just a cool bow. I can't believe I didn't know about this until now, but it is really, really fun to use in my opinion. It is very strong and it fires quite fast, and it does have more damage than the short bow, meaning that this is probably your best bet if you're looking for a faster firing bow. Now moving on to the Dragon Rider bow. You obviously get this one by trading the Dragon Rider's soul with Straight of Alaphus and the Lost Bastille. Now this bow is pretty good. It has the strongest damage per shot of all the bows. In turn, you do sacrifice draw speed and stamina consumption, though. It will take quite a while to shoot the shot, and it does consume quite a bit of stamina, but that means that this bow is probably your best bet in PvP. Now, at rank 5, because you do upgrade this with Petrified Dragon Bones, it will have 180 base damage, plus 100 magic damage, just because the Dragon Rider bow comes enchanted with magic. Now that's pretty awesome. It has B scaling in strength, D scaling in dex, and C scaling in the intelligence magic bonus, making it a pretty strong bow. You can do quite a lot of damage if you have high strength and high intelligence. This thing is just awesome. It's really good for PvP, especially when you're fighting people and you wait for them to roll and shoot right after. You can almost always nail them with a bow shot, so it is a pretty freaking nice bow. Now moving on to the last but not least bow, the Bow of Want. The Bow of Want is obtained by trading the Soul of Nishandra to Weaponsmith Ornifex. Now this bow is really cool, and it actually has a special attack. When you two-hand it, like you would to fire a normal bow, use the strong attack of your respective offhand to unleash a lightning-tinged special attack. It will cause heavy poise damage as well as medium lightning damage depending on your faith stat. It doesn't use any arrows, but it will deplete 10 durability per use, meaning you can only use that 7 times before your bow is busted. Now, this bow, at upgrade 5, you do upgrade this bow with Twinkling Titanite, I believe. Actually, you might use Petrified Dragon Bones. I can't remember. But at rank 5, it will have 100 base damage and 130 lightning damage, as well as an A scaling in dexterity and C in strength and lightning bonus as well. You do, however, have to have 18 faith to wield this bow. The only bow in the game that requires anything besides strength and dexterity is this, the Bow of Want. You need 18 faith. Now, my problem when I got this bow was I had just respected my character for a different build, and I did not have the faith requirement, so I had to go back to Things Betwixt, pop a soul vessel, and respec so that I had 18 faith to use this. Now, the gameplay you're seeing is me with only 18 faith. If my faith was higher, I would probably be doing a significant amount more damage with the Bow of Want, but unfortunately I only had it at 18 faith. So those are all the bows in Dark Souls 2. That's how you get all of them. Those are my opinions on all of them. Let me know in a comment down below what your opinions are of these bows and what your favorite one is. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a like rating down below and subscribe to see some more videos in the future. And make sure to check out these videos in the outro. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.